temperature is, I don't know if you can read it, about 315 or so. And that's good enough. You just don't want, I don't like to put them in a cold grill. So the grill's good and hot. The grating is good and hot. Lid, everything's hot. Lid's hot. So we can put shoulders on now. Well, we're doing today, besides we're going to have biscuits and gravy, sausage biscuits, or sausage, gravy, and biscuits. What? We're also fixing rub. We're cooking 4 pork shoulders for Tiff's office Halloween party tomorrow. So we'll get the shoulders on here a little bit. I'll show you them when we get them out. Put the rub on them. But that is the rub. The misses, we make it from scratch. We try to use local ingredients if we can. But you know how that goes. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But anyway, this is the rub we'll put on it. And then we got to turn around and make barbecue sauce. And I'll show you that later. Here's kind of the process. You can tell the missus is tickled to death. And secrets, get all the edges you can. Nooks, little in the nooks crannies if you can. And I always cook it with the fatty side up. So to make it easier, you always start the rub on the other side and then flip it over on the not so fatty side.
Not fatty side.
And then flip it over and put the rub then on the side that's got more fat on it. That way you're ready to go. You don't have to handle it. See, just like that. And that fat just helps, when it starts rendering, it just kind of helps coat the meat. And that's kind of the secret. And I think I've mentioned before, if I was doing a brisket or we were doing something other than pork, I would do another grill. We'd have at least 2 grills going, because I don't want the smoke.
We don't mix.
Because it's different. The flavor.
We don't mix
on
beef and pork on the same grill.
Pork. You won't even talk about chicken. But anyway, so see how she's trying to get every edge, and then we'll just put it on there and leave it. You remember what size they were?
This one was 15 pounds for both of them, and I think this one was too. About 30 total.
About 30 pounds total, give or take. We got the receipt, but so many times if you go into the store, we actually bought these at D&R, what do they call it? Meat Market in Lafayette. And we've, over the years, have used their meat almost exclusively. You can always count on it. They have really good service. If you go in the grocery store, you can buy the same cut in a grocery store, but normally at least a half, if not a third, you know, cut in thirds, because you know most people aren't going to cook that much. And but then that just changes the process, because you've got a smaller amount to cook. In our case, smaller amount to cook. So this just works out better, and then you'll end up easier to process when you get done to make the pulled pork. And I think Mama, the missus, is about done.
Done rubbing.
The charcoal, like I said, we use a charcoal grill, and I'll show you here in a minute. Here comes the big brown dog. He's nosy.
Brown dog, black dog.
Black dog is outside maybe. I don't know where he's at. I think he's maybe laying outside. So
30.5.
that's how we do it in the general's kitchen, in the missus. And we got charcoal ready, getting ready. It's about ready, and we'll go in there and put this on there shortly. It's kind
And
of a
in
good.
the midst, I'm making sausage gravy and biscuits.
Oh yeah, in the mixer I have sausage gravy and biscuits because the general's. I've got to eat. And I was gonna say something else. Yeah, we'll go out here in a minute, a little bit when the charcoal gets ready. Like I said, we do all our cooking on a Weber grills, kettle grills. No, we don't use any wood chunks. We don't use any. We do. Oh, I need to put
Wood chips.
wood chips. I got the bucket out there. I do use wood chips. Soak them before we put the meat on. It's
With the charcoal.
With the charcoal. But it's a good idea to let this meat stand a little bit with the rub on it. You know, I like maybe a half hour before we put it on the grill. And then you put it on the grill. You get the grill warm. Well, we'll go over that in a minute. See ya. In case we've never done this, showed you before. I think maybe we have, maybe we haven't. See these chimneys, you wonder what they're for. They're for starting the charcoal. I think I mentioned before, back in the day when everybody took the newspapers, you'd want newspapers up in the bottom, light it. So, well, since nobody takes the newspaper anymore, including us, you can get Weber. I've seen other brands, but there's a little, I don't know what it is. They come in a box. Hold on a second, I'll show you.
We're about ready.
This is what the Weber version looks like, and comes out. You just cut one of those squares off and light it with a lighter, match, whatever, light's easy. You just set that on it.
This feels good.
Thing about this is just as quick as using charcoal lighter, and because you can do this while you're getting everything ready to go. Now you'll notice I had about 20 briquettes in here, and I put these hot ones on top. It just gives you a little more fire to start with. Then what I'll do is put this on. Just add charcoal later on. What I will probably do right now, a few more briquettes on top, and then close the lid and let the charcoal get warm a little bit. We'll just put like maybe 10, or 4 or 5, just depends. The weather today is beautiful, so I think it's about maybe 10. Just something like that. And then this charcoal on these big grills is the bottom vents are all the way open. You know, I'll adjust the heat with this. We've got I hope our
Thermometer.
thermometer's working. I hope we'll find out. Yep. So we'll get that going. I'd like to have the grill at least 350 before we put the meat on it. Temperature of the grill. And then we get the temperature about there because the meat's ready to put on, as you saw before. And then we'll open it back up and put the wood chips. We've had them soaking. That's pecan wood chips. You can buy them at any place that sells grill supplies. And because the secret is that smoke ring that you see in the meat is early on, in the first hour or so. That's where those come in. And then your bark, of course, is the dark part that you see when you're smoking. But those hour or so, you know, I'll keep adding those till they're gone if I don't use them all right up front. And that's the secret on getting that smoke ring. It'll be, you know, a half inch maybe, but that takes place immediately. Once you do that, you can pour the smoke to it, and all you're going to add is probably smoke and a bitter flavor. You're going to start putting them on there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want to place them. I'm going to say end to end, maybe this way, this way. What do you think? You want to try to have a gap, but you don't want to pack them in there. You'll have a gap between them. Charcoal looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll put. Like I said, this is pecan. We've never tried pecan, so it really smells good. Just try not to burn yourself. Like I said, this smoke ring, everything goes in the first hour or so. Famous stick.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it over there, I think. And you'll see when we close this lid with smoke. That's where all your flavor comes in. Your ring and your smoke flavor without being too strong. I'm going to leave it about there for a while.
Good.
We'll open it for probably an hour. We'll add charcoal. So it's a quarter to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll need to look at it. That's where that's where your smoke ring comes in. And then just the heat that brings in your bark. That's what brings in your bark. So we'll just let it go for a while. Forget it's out here. This is still making rub,
I am.
and she's multitasking. What do you call it?
Multitasking.
Multitasking. She's also making sausage gravy, and I think she's got biscuits in the oven.
Well, it's sprinkling, so we're going to put an easy up. We have to be ready for all kinds of weather.
$250 degrees. That's what it looks like. Add some more charcoal. There's got wood chips in there. not been quite an hour. It's been about 40 minutes.
But it started raining.
So we had to cover it.
We had to put an easy up.
Not that we have to, but
Makes life a lot easier.
it's cooked in the snow. I'm putting about 10 or 12. Kind of a guess right now. And I will get them spread out. You kind of see what the meat's doing. Just putting the bark. It's just not done with the bark yet. The smoke ring is probably there. The bark is not where you want it yet. So that's it. That was about 40 minutes or 45 maybe. And I opened the grill up just a hair. And I'll come out a little bit and check the temperature, see where we're at. About a quarter till 1.
So it's been on 2 hours. Right.
Add a little charcoal once. A little charcoal again. I have room to put that. Think we have room to get that ham on there? I don't really want to start with the grill. Have to move them back a little.
Oh wait, it's pretty good size.
We got an 8-pound ham we want to put on here and smoke while we're doing this. Got to ponder that a little bit. Let's get the big scraper out and try to move those shoulders a little bit. It's about 10 or 11, 10 pieces of, give or take. Just want to keep the charcoal
Going.
going. All the wood chips are gone. So looking like it ought to. For 2 hours. By 5 hours, we'd like to see some pretty good rendering going on. You can see just a little bit now. Fat rendering. Think we can put that ham on there?
We can try.
Okay. Okay. Time to add a little more charcoal. See how that meat's rendering? We put this ham on there a little bit ago. We're going to see, that's the first time doing a ham. So it's been cured, it's been smoked, but not cooked. So we're going to try it. Came out, the temperature was about 280, 260, 280. So it'll get back up there about. So that's about on this big grill. Seems to work pretty well. Over 300, we'll cut her back. Small grill's a little different. If we were using the 22-inch, I do a little different. But this one seems to work. So we're making the barbecue sauce now, as I mentioned earlier. And the main ingredient, the base, is Red Gold ketchup. And I'm not going to tell you everything else because it's proprietary to the General's barbecue sauce.
We put rub in it.
We use our rub in it. The actual rub we put on the meat is also a base ingredient in here. And I won't tell you what's in it either.
Shh, it's a secret.
It's a secret. What you were saying about bottles?
We're using bottles because Sam's Club has found the need not to carry the big cans of Red Gold ketchup anymore. They've changed to the dreaded Heinz.
And it's in bottles.
And it's in a bottle.
The tartar,
It's
it's got
not,
a handles and it's be hard to get the ketchup out.
but Heinz tastes different, and we're not using Heinz.
And
So,
Red Gold is right here in Indiana.
right.
So,
So
like I said,
that's why we're doing
it's
this.
5 hours right now. We're at about 280, I believe. And there's what I wanted to see. You want to see really that meat rendering at 5 hours. Then you know you're on the right track. We'll double check this temperature again. Yeah, 280. About 280, so no 250. Yeah, somewhere in there. Okay. About where, somewhere in there is where we want it right now. Now we'll take a look at it. Okay, this ham has been on 2 hours. The shoulder's been on 5 hours. See that bark on there? It's really looking good. So you can start to see it. The goal is after about 10 hours to have it up to temperature I like to see it. It's about 170 internal temperature, and then you can start backing the temperature off on the grill to really get that finish off. And then I like to finish out with a little extra heat right at the end, the last half hour, 45 minutes. But then the last 5 or 6 hours, real light temperature, like 220, somewhere around in there. Well, in the midst of 30 pounds of pork shoulder on the smoking right now, we had sausage gravy and biscuits for breakfast, and decided we had a couple of ham shanks to use, so we did. Soup beans and cornbread, iron skillet, the real McCoy. What we failed to do is show you the finished product on the grill. And we'll, as the missus said, in our defense, it's
4:15 a.m.
yeah, about 4:15 a.m. So we've been at it quite a while. But I'm going to show you what it looks like. Put a brown sugar honey mix and drizzled over it after it's been on there about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours.
Probably.
And just to try, because we didn't get it on there at the start of the process. Ooh, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Looks pretty darn good to me. I'm going to try it out. If you've slow cooked it and rendered most of the fat out, this is what you end up with. That's all we had to discard out of that first shoulder. I said they're all about 7 to 8 pounds in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. I go through and get some of the fat off because I don't like.
My mom, the missus, is very particular, so
I don't like that.
which is okay.
That's why I got you.
That's right. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Okay.
And all shoulders are different, you know, it depends on if you do many of these, you'll figure out that they're not only different, sometimes they'll cook up different.
Mm-hmm.
These look like they cooked up
About the
almost
same.
was almost uniform and perfect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I need,
Then we use this. I can't think if they call this thing now.
that's good. Good.
Okay. We don't like it too worked up too fine. Everybody seems to like it pretty coarse. So that's about it. Then we'll take it over here, pour it in.
Pour it in, that's 2.
I thought we'd put it in a crock pot, but I was wrong. The missus was right, as
As
usual.
That's what.
Then we'll sprinkle a little our rub on top of that, each layer, just a little bit. Okay.
Lid.
It's not rocket science. Most of it's just patience. This is the ham we did. It's the first time ever messing with the ham. That's the piece I
Alright.
tried last night.
Experimented.
I've experimented. We'll probably do a little bit different next time, but we'll see what it looks like. It's we had the ham. We decided to throw it in.
I don't know if you want to.
Just tear it apart.
Ooh, that bone just came right apart. Look.
God bless you. God bless America. Say a prayer for somebody today. See ya.